So I have an update, and I really appreciate you asking that question. You're the only one that has. My update is that my mortgage company and, in combination with this president's way of dealing with poor people, I'm going to read some of the paperwork. I don't show it on film. Essentially says, you fell behind on your mortgage, and, well, we understand that you're going through an incredibly hard time right now, but we don't care. Because of the new FHA imposition, which it doesn't make any sense, because another form that they gave me literally says that if you've never been behind on your mortgage before, blah, 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 if you go through the HUD counseling, which I did, then I get a letter that says that I hadn't gone through the HUD counseling. And let me tell you what the HUD counseling is for everybody who doesn't really know what our government and tax dollars are actually paying for. So you call the HUD company, the HUD counseling number, okay? I call the HUD counseling number and I say, hey, this is the situation that I'm in. I'm on a deferment. I'm not in pre-foreclosure. I am doing everything that I can to mitigate to keep my house, okay? And I explain my situation. I've gone through all this, medical stuff, which I'm going to get to, by the way, because we've got more there going on there too that nobody was even aware of, okay? Or they're even paying attention to just prove the neglect of our wonderful health insurance. When you fall and you lose, your job for turning people in for violating people's human and civil rights and actually following company policy by doing so, by the way, I hope they're watching, you get really crappy ass insurance. But let's go back to the FHA, the HUD situation. So I call the HUD number. It's just a 1-800 number, basically. You call and you say, hey, I'm going through this process. I'm told to call, that I need to schedule this situation. The woman on the phone's like, oh, I don't know that we have anything for you. I said, what do you mean? I'm this paper from my mortgage company that's actually from the FHA backed mortgage says I'm supposed to call this number and set up a counseling with you. Oh, well, I'll have to get in touch with you again because I'm not really sure that we handle those sorts of things. This is real life. Okay? So I wait. 3 or 4 days later, I get a call from a counsel. And, the guy, he calls me and he says, well, unfortunately, what we really do counseling for is for new home buyers. I explain a little bit more of the situation, but clearly, he's pretty much just, there's nothing that we can do for you. At the HUD counseling thing that I'm supposed to finish in order to qualify for any of the other FHA, like loan modifications and whatnot, okay? First of all, they don't really want to do a modification because I'm going through the Social Security process. And their words verbatim were that, well, even though you have all these medical things, it could take years to get your Social Security, so we don't really see that as a potential income. Even though I was like 348 days, almost like 350 days in, and actually it should have been over 400 days, but I had my first attorney pull my application because I went in there and I asked them about human rights because they said they were going to look after me, and then they really weren't. So essentially, there is no help for your HUD counseling, even though you did go through it. I did go through it. I went through it over the phone. And I told my mortgage company that too. I said, I contacted HUD. They're like, oh, well, did you go through the thing? I said, well, yeah. And I want you to know that our tax dollars, this is what it is. The spiel I just gave you. I get a letter from them saying, well, because you didn't go through the HUD counseling, we're not going to look at you for modification because, well, disability is not really an income, is what I was told over the phone. Yeah. Isn't that discrimination? It's not my fault that I was driven into a parked car on the highway after being berated and kept in a ridiculous situation. Now let's move on to the other side. So the short of it is that I have to save my home. I got to save my home. I'm not going to just depend on you, but to your question, I figured it'd just be easier to get it out here and to put it. So when you guys see this, click on the actual box up here and it will take you to the original post, and you can listen to the post to catch up if you're just now seeing this post. Okay. I would really, really appreciate it. Reposting, liking, and putting in a comment, something like, this is America and we're fucked. So, on top of all the other stuff, I went to another doctor yesterday, thankfully. And I was like, look, doc, my head's getting ready to explode, dude. Not only from the pain, but just the entirety of how I've been treated. Because it's a proven fact. You can look this up. LGBTQ people, anybody who loves outside of the heteronormative, traditional way of doing things is not seen as human. So we get subpar care. And I believe that that's exactly what's been going on. I have been being discriminated against, especially with that doctor who shoved a needle behind my knee and abused me and screamed at me and told me he would just stop the test and I could just wait 10 more months, little missy. And so I'm going to be filing a lot as well, on top of the other ones that I'm dealing with. But just to read you guys a little bit about how bad my back actually is, where I have freaking medical doctors literally trying to put me through tests to prove that I can feel my foot, that I'm just making it up. I don't have any pain, and I've gone almost 600 days without any pain medication, which has caused my spine to twist, which this man literally lied to my face and said ain't nothing that could ever happen. Yes, it can. When you have so many damn damages in your back from a car accident especially, your back starts to twist. So, I've got C5, disc bulging resulting in canal stenosis. Also degenerative changes at C3, 4 and 5, 7, and T1 as described. Also L4, L5, broad-based lateral disc protrusion resulting in right canal stenosis, could be moderate to more than right lateral recess, just L2, L3, L4, L5. I got 12 vertebrae in my spine that have been affected by this accident. It looks like 6 of them. It's not quite bad enough for surgery yet, but there are surgeries that need to be done. Like more mild approaches, and I can't have the shots, so they're trying to scratch their heads and put me through some other stuff. So yeah, I have a whole doctor, I have a whole team of doctors. Well, and I have a handful that are actually good, but they're actually not like the actual MDs that I needed. So those people that I will say who have been caring for me and advocating for my health are not MDs. My chiropractor, oh my God, I love you so much. You've done so much for me. She makes sure that I've even had gasoline and a little food some days. I had a physical therapist actually purchase one of those machines for me, the TENS units, because I couldn't afford it. And it was the only thing that's the only thing that she could do for me to try to help me with my pain. Women. But the male doctors, I had one scream at me after putting a 2-inch needle. I know. I was so traumatized by what happened, but I'm going to lose my house now. It's winter time. And I've got 3 more days to come up with funds for my car. About $815 is what I need. If you guys want to help, if you can at all, or even share, just a little bit. A lot of people doing a little bit really, really helps. I could at least have my car to stay in. I'm going to try to fight. And so I'm going to try to get a bankruptcy attorney. Can you imagine? We live in a country where I've paid my taxes. I was treated that way. Yeah, at my job, my whole career, doing the right things. And then I was SA'd in a store under the cameras. The cops laughed at me. And then I was driven into a parked car. And here I am getting ready to lose everything because of our government and the FHA changes and this horrible president. So, yeah, that's my update. And tomorrow's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. And fuck Donald Trump! Fuck all of you that voted for this shit!